For today's book talk, we are talking about Memories of Summer by Ruth White. So this book tells the story of Lyric, the protagonist, her older sister Summer, and their father. Their mother passed away when they were younger, and the story starts off in Virginia. They end up leaving Virginia and moving to Flint, Michigan, so that their father could get a job in the auto industry, which the book takes place in 1955. So the auto industry was booming at the time. And so there were a lot of great paying jobs in Michigan. So the big thing about the story is they're a very musical family. Summer and Lyric can harmonize together and they have beautiful voices. Their father plays guitar. And as you read it, a lot of the language is almost musical in quality. So it has really beautiful imagery and you could really visualize what you're reading. It's also a pretty sad book. So it's very much realistic fiction. And the reason it is sad is because Summer, from the title Memories of Summer, has a mental illness. She has schizophrenia, which kind of reveals itself throughout the book. And you see Lyric and her father struggling to cope with Summer's mental illness. And it's very much realistic when you think about that. And so I would recommend this for anybody who is either interested in that subject of mental illness or has a friend or family member who's also struggling with their own mental issues, because mental health issues are very common in our country and in our world. So it's pretty likely that somebody who's struggling with something, be it depression or some other issues, substance abuse issues. So it's really an awesome book. Like I said, it's a little bit sad, but it's very well written. So you should check out Memories of Summer. And now we are going to do a brief excerpt from the story. Poppy had always been a good old boy, just happy to be a coal miner like his daddy and his daddy's daddy, but he changed after Mama and Grandpa died. Where he used to go out gambling and carousing and spending his money on liquor, now he stayed home and took up reading the Bible and going to church with us. Poppy also had the reputation of being the best guitar picker this side of Nashville. He could play any tune you could hum, and he was always saying that it was his mission in life to give joy, to make people sing and dance and laugh. So it was just as Mama had predicted. In spite of our loss of her, me and Summer grew up singing and laughing. Poppy was always there like a rock, and we felt safe and loved. Our childhood was happy. But it was Summer I remember bathing me and kissing away the bumps and bruises. Summer patty caking and rockabye babying, reading to me. Summer packing my lunch and taking me to my first day of school, leading me by the hand to the outhouse in the morning dew, holding my forehead when I threw up, plaiting my hair, hushing me in Sunday school. We roamed the hills and creeks, picking daisies and tiger lilies, black-eyed Susans, Indian paintbrushes, and wild pink roses. We slid downhill on golden leaves. We climbed trees and explored caves and peeped into abandoned mines. But we didn't go in there. They were scary. We dammed up the creek and made swimming holes. But best of all, we told each other our secrets and dreams. Poppy had never owned a car. He didn't even know how to drive, so we walked everywhere we went. If it was too far to walk, there was a bus that went to some places. If we couldn't get there by bus, we had to find somebody with a car to take us. If we couldn't do that, we stayed home. And that's what we did most of the time. Stayed home. We liked each other and we entertained each other. We read books and played games. We listened to the radio. We made fudge and went to quiltings, to school and church, and to the picture show at the county seat. We saw relatives at Thanksgiving and Decoration Day. Me and Summer learned to cook pretty good. Poppy helped us raise a garden, and we canned things for cold weather. We bought our clothes cheap at the company store or from a mail order catalog. So we had everything we needed. Then why did we dream about going somewhere else and making more money and having more stuff? It's a mystery. I don't know why, but it was a continuing thread that pulled the years together. Someday we will leave this place. Someday we will have a white house. Someday we will have more money and buy things. Poppy taught me and Summer to harmonize, and we got real good at it. Everybody said so. Summer's voice was high and clear like a bell, while mine was low and mellow like a clarinet. And people were always asking us to sing for them. We could be going down the road to the store or coming home from the show, and somebody was liable to step out on their porch and holler, "Come on in here, girls, and sing us a song." So we did. And they paid us nickels and dimes, sometimes quarters, depending on who it was. We sang for fun even when we didn't get paid, simply because we loved it. Lots of times we sung places with Poppy, parties and church gatherings mostly. But any place that there was an audience, they might ask us to pick and sing. I reckon we were famous in our neck of the woods. Summer always did have funny ways about her, but I got so used to them they seemed normal to me. For example, she was scared to death of electricity. Poppy called it a terror, and he said that it started when Summer was a baby and stuck her finger in a live socket. But Summer said she didn't even remember that, and she thought it started when she stepped on an electric cord that was frayed. Both times she was shocked. But whenever it happened, her fear of electricity kept her from doing some ordinary things, like pulling the cord to turn on the light in a dark room. Me or Poppy had to do that for her. She wouldn't even turn on the radio. We had to do that for her too, and then adjust the static out of it. We also had a fan that she wouldn't touch. In fact, she would pull her dress tail aside to keep from brushing it when she passed by. But the Frigidaire was something else. She wasn't a bit afraid of it. She said it was because it was cold, so it didn't seem to be electric. She thought of electricity as hot. We had nothing else that was electric except lights in our Christmas tree once a year. Another odd thing was Summer's fear of dogs. She would panic and hide whenever she saw one. She always called them wolves. She'd say she heard a wolf barking, or a wolf wanted to bite her when it was really just a little doggy trying to play. I like dogs myself, and one time Poppy got us a puppy, hoping Summer would get over her terror, but she wouldn't have it in the house. She cried and cried until Poppy gave the puppy away to kinfolks. I didn't fault her for that. She couldn't help how she felt. She had some other peculiarities too, like rocking her body when she was upset, just rocking and moaning, or shaking her leg. That would drive her teachers nuts, and they would always put her in the back row so they wouldn't see her leg going to town. And Summer talked to herself. People would laugh at her when they caught her doing it, especially the other kids, and she would turn real red in the face. She told me secretly that beings appeared to her that nobody else could see, and that's who she was talking to. I got mad at folks when they laughed at Summer, but as she got older, she started whispering to the invisible ones instead of talking out loud, so others were not as apt to notice. She was always looking up toward the hills, listening and whispering, and I didn't think Summer strange at all, because she was my sister, and I had grown up with her whispering to the hills. So that's a short excerpt from Memories of Summer, and as you heard the language, you could really almost visualize this, this girl, this troubled girl speaking and whispering to the hills. The language is beautiful throughout this book, and I highly recommend you check it out if that sounded intriguing to you. And as always, if you like this video, click like and subscribe, and keep on reading.